Today's drawing lesson is going to be all about using form and creating the illusion of three-dimensional form in our drawings. The forms that we are going to focus on are a sphere, like this tennis ball, a cylinder, like this canister of tea, and a cube or more of like a rectangular shape like this tin. So I didn't find anything that was a true cube, so we're using this tin. Whenever we're trying to draw something realistically, it's helpful to draw from observation. So I have moved the tennis ball out of the video frame, but I can see it clearly. And I'm going to draw it the way I see it. To start, I drew a circle with pencil, and we're going to do the shading and value with a pencil for this three-dimensional object. So the first thing I want to notice is what direction the light is coming from. For all of these drawings, our light source is coming in this direction. So that means the lightest part of my object is going to be on this side. Then the darkest part is going to be where there's no light hitting. So for the sphere, I'm going to just start by drawing a bit of a oval shape where I know it's going to be lightest. Since I'm doing this as a black and white drawing with pencil, for the sake of this drawing, lightest also means white. So the white of the paper is going to serve as the lightest part of this drawing. Now what I like to do is lay in the next lightest shade, and the easiest way to do that is to hold your pencil on the edge so that you're using more lead against your paper, and then very gently color in the shape. Try to follow the form. So this is a rounded shape, so I'm going back and forth, following the form, and I'm making really small circles as I'm doing that. It's a lot easier to start out light and then get darker than it is to start out dark and try to go lighter. So I'm going to try to stay lighter at first. And so far it's not three-dimensional because it's pretty much just the two shades, the white of the paper and then the light gray. Now I'm going to work in where I see it darker. So it goes white and then light and then kind of like a medium shade. So I'm going to keep going and layering in that pencil. I'm not putting too much pressure on my pencil as I'm drawing. I'm just layering in another layer on top and building it up. So it should be a gradual transition. It shouldn't look really striped. And then where I'm looking and I see it darker, I can layer even more. Gently building up my layers. Now something's happening right here, and what's happening is the light is hitting the surface of my table and it's bouncing back. So where it bounces back, that's called reflected light. And there's going to be an area where it doesn't get quite as dark as the shadow area. So that part's going to stay a little bit light because it has some reflected light that bounces back. Now the light where it's hitting is casting a cast shadow onto my table. So if I want to really make this look like a realistic drawing, then I can draw in that cast shadow. And I want to observe and look closely at the cast shadow, because where the light reflected back, it might be a little bit lighter. So you don't want it to be totally dark. Also pay attention to the direction of your pencil lines on your shadow. You want to try to make those follow the direction of your table so that your object looks like it's sitting on the table and not floating away. And directly under is usually a little bit darker. And I usually like to use my finger or a tissue and just really blend it in. So blend so that I have really soft blended shading. Now you can see some areas where the pencil's gotten outside of the drawing, so I can go back in with my eraser and clean that up. And I can go back in and lighten up anything that should be lighter. Now you could do your entire drawing in pencil if you have only pencil to work with, or you really like using pencil. Pencil is a perfectly good drawing material to use to complete your work.